Hey, everybody. It's Sunday night. It's Trending Topics. Welcome in the building. I'm glad to see y'all here, and I'm glad that you're here hanging out with the diva. Okay, happy Sunday. I hope y'all had a good weekend. Listen, tonight's Trending Topics is called Heated Reactions. I'm sorry about last night. This is team too much. I'm talking, telling too much, but son I ate was not agreeing with me, and I had to cut the last story short. I had to go, but I'm fine now. So listen, tonight's trending topics, the title is Heated Reactions, okay? Heated Reactions. And I don't know if y'all remember the story that I did on one trending topics where the Georgia daycare worker, she beat up the little kid. I'm calling it a beat up. The kid had a whole black eye, and she lied and said that another kid hit the kid. Well, she got arrested, and the judge let her out on a $44,000 bond, where the community was heated, and they started threatening the judge. So the judge had to come out and let the people know that y'all better chill. Yeah, I know y'all may not like what she did, but she's doing her job. And they said, any threats against the judge, we're going to take it seriously, and you're going to end up getting locked up, so stop playing. They threatened the judge. Now, we all agreed over here when I did that story that we didn't know how the girlfriend got a bond in the first place. But we wasn't going to go low and start threatening nobody. We just talk over here. It's trending topics. And like I said, we got stuff to talk about, but we ain't doing no threats. Well, the people out there was threatening that judge. And they said it will not be tolerated. So we're going to talk about it. Then this story, I didn't want to touch it. But I got, y'all talk to me, and because y'all come and hang out with me, when y'all talk to me, if I can, I do what I can and I listen. A couple of people was like, Diva, you got to talk about this Dacara Thompson story. And I really didn't want to touch this. The young kids, they swear once they hit 18, they're grown. I don't know who came up with that concept, but they swear they grown. My son loved to tell me, I'm 20 now, I'm grown. I said, stop. When I was growing up, you know what grown was? Grown was you had your own place, you was paying your own bills, and you no longer depended on mommy and daddy. That's when you was grown. You could be 20-something. And if you still in mommy and daddy's house, you ain't grown. You got rules to follow. These generations now, they got everything twisted. And they couldn't have survived during our time of growing up. They couldn't have. All these kids now, they're rotten. I don't care if you live in the hood, or you live in the suburbs, or you live in the ultra-rich community. Every kid on the face of this earth got a cell phone. They all got a cell phone. When I was growing up, there was a clear distinction if you didn't have money and if your family did have money. You didn't have money, you ain't have on the latest sneakers and all of that. These kids now, if you had to pick out in the school who didn't have money versus who does, you wouldn't be able to pick it out by looking at them. These kids in the high school got the latest iPhone. I promise you they do. The girls now, they got the eyelashes, they got the nails done. And listen, it ain't cheap getting your nails done. When I was growing up, I remember, I think it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They had at the salon, the nail salon, it was a special. You get a manicure, pedicure, I think like $20. Now I don't see no specials in none of these nail salons. The price is the price. Come on, they got the latest cars. How you driving a car better than a working person and you in school? But I digress. I just want to say the kids, they don't even know nothing these days. They all rotten. I don't care what household they come from. Even the single parent household kids, they rotten. But this Dacara Thompson, 19, gone too soon. She went out late at night and they found her body recently. And the one that took her life, or being accused of taking her life, they have surveillance footage. And they show her what appears to be, look like she got in a car with this person willingly. And they found that a room in his house is the room where she most likely lost her life. And I said to myself, this is a hard one, because I know these teenagers. You could talk to them till you don't have no more words left in you. But they swear they grown. And at the end of the day, they're going to go do what they want to do. My heart goes out to her family. May she rest in peace. But because over here we're not judging, but we got to talk so that hopefully we can help somebody else not find themselves in this same situation. Whether they think they grown or not, you got to put your foot down. Be like, where do you think you going at this hour? I feel for her. I really do. Lindsay said, I went to the grocery store last night and saw a young girl pull up in a G-Wagon. So yes, these young folks are doing the most. They doing the most. She pulling up in one of my dream cars. I got several dream cars. A G-Wagon is one and a Range Rover is the other. And I also like that Genesis GV80. But the kids are living large. So we're going to talk about this Dacara Thompson. It's sad. My heart breaks for her family. My heart breaks for her. May she rest in peace. And what we got to help people understand is too, a stranger is a stranger. I don't even care if you met them online and you've been talking to them for weeks. They're still a stranger. They're still a stranger. And in my big grown age, I still play stranger danger. The other men get mad at me. No, you're not just coming to my house. No, I'm not just giving you my address. And thank God for my ADT. I got a camera on my window here. I got the Ring doorbell. I'm not playing the games with these people. And no, you're not spending the night at my house. No, I just met you. I'm not sleeping with you. No, 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 no. Protect yourselves. Now, let me move on to this last story. This Avery Dunning. You know, there's a saying too, you see something, say something. And you want to help people, but I'm going to say this when it comes to helping people. I'm going to say, don't help nobody that don't even want to help themselves. You know, y'all may be upset, but I got to do a reference that you may be able to connect to. So in the Diddy case, they want to know why all the surrounding people didn't help Cassie. But at the end of the day, with the few people that we did hear that tried to help Cassie, she didn't want to get out of that situation. You know who sang that song? Don't save her, she don't want to be saved. In this Avery Dunning case, a neighbor confronted him because they heard him beating up on the girlfriend all the time. So they confronted him and was like, you know, yo, why you beating up on her? Why are you doing that? Well, the neighbor that confronted him, unfortunately, may she rest in peace, she lost her life. They eventually caught him. He was on trial for unaliving her. And when they say a jury of your peers, well, good gosh almighty, you don't never think it's really going to be somebody you know, an actual peer of yours. Well, he knew one of the jurors. He ain't say nothing. He knew one of the jurors. Now, the juror says she didn't realize until after the verdict that she knew him because she had a one-night stand with him. Listen, people, stop sleeping with people you don't know. But we're going to have that conversation on another day. But he recognized her. I guess he thought she was going to sit in that jury and find him not guilty. Well, no, the whole jury found him guilty on all charges. So once he was found guilty, he called his mama. And you know what? These mothers that want to help their no good children is messy. He called his mother, told his mother, go look at my cell phone. Because juror number 8, I'm making up her number. I don't know what number she was. Because juror number 8, I slept with her. And we got some videos on my phone that I need to show my lawyer. And because we got to do this a mistrial. So his mother goes to looking up in his phone. And the reason why they know is because the phone calls are recorded. Listen. Can we keep it 100 here? I know some people that have been in the jail. And I know how those phone calls go. And when you get the phone call from the jailhouse, they don't say hello and it's your friend or your family member. It's a whole recording letting you know that this is a call from XYZ Correctional Facility. And so-and-so is trying to call you. And just so you know, this phone call will be recorded. So for anybody that don't know out there, I don't know how you don't know, because even if you watch Law and Order, Law and Crime, whatever law or police show you watch on the TV, they let you know the phone calls are being recorded. And these stupid people still say stupid stuff on the recorded line. So he calls mama from the jail. Told mama, go look up in my phone. You're going to see some videos. Mama looks in the phone. She gets the video. She brings it to his lawyer. Because he thought it was going to be a mistrial. But the judge said, not today. Not today. The judge said, you been knew that you slept with her and you recognized her. And you ain't say nothing. So you're still guilty. And that's that. And they believed the juror when she said, I didn't recognize him till I passed him after the whole case was over. Because she said, I ain't know him by his government name. I knew him by his street name, and his street name was Ace. You had a whole sexual situation with somebody, and you don't even know their government name. People, we got to do better. We got to do better. You ain't know his government name. You ain't recognize him. Now, the jury box is not that far from the defendant, but if she want to say she didn't recognize him, okay, whatever, we're going to roll with it. You didn't recognize him until you passed by him, and you like, oh, shoot, that's the one I slept with, that one-night stand. I don't know how in a one-night stand he has several videos of y'all doing the do, but well, we're going to bring the people on the building because it's Sunday night. I done yapped enough. We got stuff to talk about. So you know what I need in the chat, right? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Sunday night trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. The title is called Heated Reactions. We got the Georgia judge being threatened. We got Dacara Thompson, may she rest in peace. And we got this Avery Dunning. He thought he was going to pull the ultimate, but the judge said, not today. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all, hit the like button or else you can't get on the train. You just going to miss your train.
Hey, Savannah. Hey,
Diva. Hey, panel.
All right.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, chat.
Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get started. Let's do this Georgia judge. We'll go into that story. Just to give you a reminder, this is kind of an updated piece of a story because we did this story maybe 2 weeks ago on my channel where a daycare worker, she hit a little kid. It's alleged. She claimed that another kid hit the kid, but then they saw the video footage. They arrested her, and the judge let her out on bond for $44,000, and the community was in an outrage. So hold on, let me share a screen. Let me see. I think this is it.
We shared last week how a daycare worker in Bainbridge was charged with child abuse. Our story got national attention, millions of views online. Now we're learning the judge in the case has received threats for granting the woman bail. The judge set Yvette Thurston's bond at $44,000, and she bonded out of Decatur County Jail. The district attorney says people then started harassing the judge and calling in threats to her office.
You can share a cot in a cell with the individuals that we're going to charge with the crimes against the children, because you're not allowed to threaten the judiciary, not allowed to threaten their families. And if you do so, you're going to be held responsible.
District Attorney Mulholland says he plans to handle the child abuse charges himself.
So the case is going to be taken from her. Every time I see that little boy, I mean, just so adorable. It's a shame that that happened to him. Let me share screen again, 1 second. So a Georgia daycare worker who allegedly beat a 1-year-old boy black and blue released on bail. A daycare worker in Georgia who was charged last month for allegedly beating a 1-year-old until his face was black and blue was released after posting bail. And the judge who released her received a firestorm of threats. Yvette Thurston, 54, was let go on a $44,000 bond on August the 16th after she was charged with 3 counts of first-degree child abuse and 1 of first-degree aggravated battery. Chief Magistrate Anne Marie Rose Emmons, the judge overseeing Thurston's case, was subjected to death threats after granting the alleged abuser bond. District Attorney Joe Mulholland, who is the South Georgia Circuit, was quick to come to Rose Emmons' defense and condemned the threats of violence against her. Our office will not tolerate abuse of the children in our community who are entrusted to others for their safety while their parents work to make a living. Likewise, we will not tolerate threats against our judges who are carrying out their sworn duty under the laws of the state of Georgia, he wrote in a statement. An individual who seeks to undermine the safety of our children or the integrity of our judicial system by making threats will be dealt with swiftly and harshly. The rule of law is the foundation of our community. Our judges deserve to perform their duties without fear for their safety. Mulholland continued, you may not like their decisions, but you don't have the right to threaten them or their families. If you do, you will be prosecuted by my office to the full extent of the law. Thurston was arrested on August 11th at the family at the Little Blessings Child Care in Bainbridge, close to the Florida border, reported their 1-year-old grisly injuries suffered at daycare one day. Is that not horrific? Corey Weeks, a U.S. Marine, shared pictures of his battered son, Clay, on Facebook. The type looked into the camera lens the best he could as one blackened eye was nearly swollen shut. He also had a litany of bloody scrapes across his cheeks and around his mouth. Weeks said he was originally told that another toddler had smacked Clay with a plastic toy, but the surveillance footage he and his wife later tracked down allegedly showed Thurston whopping their son. Weeks also voiced support for the teens involved in the case, even though he was disappointed by Thurston's release. I'm aware that the woman that did this is no longer behind bars. Honestly, I was told this was likely happen because this is how our justice system works. Of course, my wife and I do not agree with this, but we don't get to ultimately make that decision. It is important that we allow the investigators and legal system to thoroughly complete their responsibilities to achieve the result we all want, he wrote on Facebook. Weeks assured that his son is under frequent evaluation and is making a good recovery, surrounded with love. The family's other son, 3-year-old Wyatt, also attended the church daycare but was uninjured. The daycare itself was swiftly issued an emergency closure by the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning, while an investigation into what led up to Clay's injuries is ongoing. Oh, my goodness. Wayne, your thoughts?
This woman is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just, no justification at all. However, if the justice system gonna work for one, it gotta work for all. People have done worse, unalive people, several people, and they out on bond.
Well, that's true.
I'm not saying nothing, not trying to justify nothing this woman did, but even the people, the family said it's not their choice. They know she's out, but that's the way the judicial system, system is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if they want to start talking about threatening judges and all this bull crap, why didn't it apply to 47? Before he was elected, he was on trial, and he doxed the judges, he doxed their families. The families were getting death threats. He was getting death threats. So hopefully the rules should apply to all. But I hope, when she goes to trial, I hope she gets her, what's due to her. Because you can't have somebody. Now, that's a monster. That's a monster.
That part.
And you cannot have these people working with children, being around children. If they have their own children, they need to call, somebody needs to call, what is it, DPS or DSS or whatever, on these people to have their kids checked out. Because if you can go off on a 1-year-old like that, and if you have any children, God protect them. Because for somebody to do this looked like several hits. This just wasn't this looked like several intentional hits on a child. So, no, I don't like it that she's out and she's walking the street. But I'm sure she can't be around any other children. She's going to have her due process in court. Those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Wayne. Julius, your thoughts?
I hope that chick gets clinked up. I hope she's found guilty. The judge, by the law, everybody can hear me, correct?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. The judge, by the law, was doing her job. So the judge had to do what she had to do. Now, whoever is threatening this judge, I want them to be held accountable too. And for some kind of way, like what Mr. Wayne just said, I want a certain other person to be held accountable too, but we're not going to talk about that right now. It's a falsified precedent that's currently in place where you think you can dox, threaten, intimidate a judge and expect things to go your way. It don't work like that. Karma always finds a way to strike. And I do believe those who threaten, intimidate, they will get their karma when they least expect it. That's it, that's all.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. I think the people look at the judicial system as a joke because that's how 45 had him. Like it was a joke, doing everything the judge told him not to do. And I know the chat saying we always go back to him. But then again, let's face it this way. Why are they taking, I know it's different circumstances, different states, different jurisdiction. But we had this girl that unalived her baby and put him in, I don't know if he or she put him in a trash bag. She's at home. You have these monsters that impregnated a 10-year-old. They had $100,000 bail.
Mm,
So even though, I mean, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right that she abused this child and uh she's out on bail. I think all of them should be locked up. Not none of them should be out. But if you're gonna be fair across the board. So are they threatening these judges that allow these other people out that did the things that they did? I just want to know that because if she can get out and they can get a bond and they can get a bond, but y'all coming after this judge when this woman, of course, her tail need to be locked up. But like I said, they look at the judicial system as a joke. I mean, when have you known that people just keep calling and threatening a judge? They might did it once and they get caught up and get arrested. But what I'm saying is, if y'all gonna do this for one, do it for all because those should have never had bail set. The girl should have never had no bail. So she should have never had no bail. So if y'all gonna do all like that, all of them need to be locked up. Don't let none of them go free until the time come for them to go to court because it's just not fair. Because what I'm saying is, um, we know how Georgia is. We already know where Georgia come from, where it stems from. Very racism. But what I'm saying is, don't threaten the judge because of this woman out and she's black and she did something to the child. Just let her do her thing in court. Let her go through the process. The way that all the rest of them got to go through the process. So just sit back and wait and know. I mean, that child looked like he was in the ring with Rocky. So I get it. But you can't threaten the judge. But like I said again, the judicial system is a joke to these people now because everything that 45, the judge told him not to do, he did it anyway. So it's a free fall for it all. But like I said, all of them need to be locked up, not just for her. Every last one of them that did something to some kids, they all need to be in the damn jail. No, I don't even think they need to be in jail, but I ain't gonna say where they need to be. But that's all I got.
thank you, Savannah. Your thoughts?
Diva, I have a lot of thoughts going through my head tonight. I am trying to see if my fellow passengers here, did they get something, food poisoning or what? I kind of disagree with each and every single one of them. First of all, this story just proved to me that sometimes judges get it wrong, just like the judge and if we continue setting the bar at 45 or 47, that's a very low bar. And that's why we are in the societal and in the social state that we are in with the divisions and the constantly pointing fingers and name calling because of the leadership that's in government right now. But the way I look at it is this judge got it wrong. Here we have a child, a baby, barely a year old, who was savagely beaten by and we're gonna be real, a much larger woman who I know those hits, and it was multiple, according to the video, it was multiple strikes that she did against the child. And so those hits hurt. That the child almost lost his eye socket, according to the hospital report. So and he had a little brother there as well, another sibling that attended the same daycare that was run by a church group. So the daycare also has a duty here as well to provide a safe environment for those children. And what it showed me is that it failed to properly vet their staff, Did they ignore warning signs? Is this the first child that she did it to? Or because obviously they didn't put adequate protections in place for these children. So they share some of the responsibility here as well. This is Decatur County, Georgia, which is 70% Caucasian, less than 20% African American, and then a mixture of Hispanic, Asian, and other ethnicities. So we already know the makeup of the law enforcement and the sentiment. The father of this child that was savagely beaten is also a active duty U.S. Marine who brings their child there, thinking to a daycare that is run by a religious facility, thinking that their children are safe, and to come and pick them up and see his baby in that state. He's busy. Katrina, you as a retired service member, no, your mind is focused on everything that's going on and working for the government military. You have to pivot. Things change within minutes, and you have to pivot your mind and to focus on the new thing, whatever comes up. I'm almost certain that I know when I drop my babies off at daycare, I always went in with a blind assurance that they were going to be safe. I didn't worry much during the day of, are they doing okay? Are they being taken care of? Because they were at also a religious run facility. So this monster does not belong walking the streets. The judge got it wrong. And if she is receiving threats, I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't, but I understand the why she's receiving them, because she got it wrong. She's out with her bail's only $44,000, 10%. She's out with $4,000 that she gave, and she's walking the streets. No, ma'am. And my baby is looking like this, bruised, scratched, almost lost an eye. Because you have no self-control because you're a monster? Absolutely not. I feel no empathy, or if the judge is getting threats, you got it wrong. That's how I feel about it.
Whew. All right. Listen, when over here, we know everybody's entitled to their opinion. And I ain't mad at you. This is sad. I think the whole system needs to be revamped. I think it's never any fairness across the board. We see some people that don't get out that should, and we see others that we think shouldn't get out, and they do on bond or bail, whatever you want to call it. It's just a sad situation, and the whole system needs to be revamped. I'm going to go ahead and do this Avery Dunning trial twist. Hold on one second. I'm going to back up to, first I'm going to show you what actually happened that landed him in the facility. And just know this is just an old clipping to show you what happened, but he was caught. But in this clipping, they said they're still looking for him, but he was caught. His trial happened. So we'll talk about it.
Searching for a man considered armed and dangerous. He's accused of shooting a woman after she tried to intervene in a dispute.
CBS 2's Natalie Doddridge is live now from the scene with more for us. Natalie.
Well, Maurice, Christine, just moments ago, we checked in with police on the victim's condition. She is still critical. And tonight, they are still looking for a 35-year-old man who lives in this building. Now, they say what unfolded here today is a neighbor was trying to de-escalate an argument that man was involved in, but he fired his gun, hitting the neighbor. Now, it's not clear if the bullet was meant for her or someone else.
She's a good person. She take care of kids.
Friends say they're not surprised their 41-year-old neighbor tried to help when she heard a man fighting with his girlfriend in their apartment on East 135th Street, where they live with a small child.
It's all about her children and family. She don't bother nobody. So for this to happen, she had to intervene in a situation that had nothing to do with her.
Around 8:30 in the morning, investigators say there was some type of domestic dispute at apartment 6A, which police have previously visited for domestic calls. The resident at 6D went into the hallway because she was concerned with the fighting. The suspect came out of 6A with a gun and fired.
I heard 2 gunshots.
2 shell casings were found in the hallway. The victim was rushed to Harlem Hospital. Her children and husband were home at the time.
She was a nice person. Yeah, that's why I was shocked. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it.
You said you knew the husband better.
Yeah, I see him around. He's cool too. He's a nice person too.
In the suspect's apartment, a woman and 3-year-old child were found okay.
Sorry, I'm just getting emotional. They're just scared because I have children, you know.
I've been living here for a while, and this area is very hot. So whoever got shot, I feel bad for the family.
Community advocates showed up to help support the family and residents.
We need to make sure that we have the center open and mental health counselors available to talk with families, to deal with anger management, and to deal with the conditions that people are expected to live in.
Now, it's believed the suspect took off on foot with his weapon down West 135th Street. Now, his image was shared across all NYPD cell phones today so that they could recognize him and hopefully arrest him. And they want to remind the public, if you spot this man, he could be dangerous, to contact police. We're live in East Harlem. Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
Natalie, thank you.
So sad because she intervened and she lost her life. So let me just share screen again. Hold on one second. So like I said, he was caught. He did go to trial. He was found guilty in trial, but there's a twist to it. So New York City case in chaos as P videos compromise juror hamper attempted M trial, stranger than fiction. So Manhattan trial was recently thrown into chaos by the revelation of a largely sexual P video starring a juror and the wannabe killer defendant. The criminal, with the help of his mom, tried using the seeming footage to overturn his conviction in a situation that stunned even his veteran lawyer. But the judge wouldn't budge, and Avery Dunning, 37, now faces up to 25 years in prison for shooting his 41-year-old female East Harlem neighbor in the head during a 2023 fight. The saga has been a situation stranger than fiction, said Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Daniel Conviser. The bizarre deal began after the trial ended and right as Dunning was set to be sentenced in July. That's when his lawyer alerted the court that Dunning's mother, Lolita Dunning, had found raunchy videos of her son and juror number 8, a woman who had been previously told the court that she didn't recognize the defendant during jury selection. It turns out she knew the defendant quite well. Dunning's lawyer, Raymond Loving, said in court Thursday that Dunning and the juror had previously recorded 15, how does she not remember, 15 P videos together with some of the erotic footage showing the woman pleasuring his client. These videos show Mr. Dunning receiving fellatio from a juror, Loving said. It's clear that she had an intimate relationship with a man who she was later called for jury service. The stunning revelation surfaced just weeks after the jury and the rest of the panel convicted Dunning of attempted M, assault, and other charges for shooting his neighbor when she and her husband confronted him about allegedly beating his girlfriend in their building. The jury deliberated 2 days before finding Dunning guilty on all counts. As the judge was preparing to sentence him, the video surfaced. Over the course of several ensuing hearings, Dunning, his mother, and the juror testified before lawyers from both sides and Judge Conviser. The skin flicks, which were filmed by Dunning on 2 occasions, were viewed by lawyers and judge at some point, but were ordered kept from public view. At one hearing, August 20th, the juror who showed up to court wearing a mask while complaining of illness admitted she had a one-night stand with Dunning at her Harlem home in 2022 after the pair had met on Lenox Avenue. That's the juror. She claims she never recognized him during the month-long trial until the jury reached its verdict, and she had a clear view of him as she walked by the defense table. The woman never disclosed to the court during jury selection that she knew Dunning. It's typical for a judge to ask prospective jurors if they recognize or know the lawyers or defendants involved in the case. If a juror is familiar with someone, they are typically excused from service. In the bid to have Dunning's conviction tossed, his lawyer claimed gross juror misconduct had occurred, saying there was no possible way the juror couldn't have known who his client was at all for the entire duration of the trial. Of course, she recognized him, Loving said, but Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Andrea Kimmel insisted that Dunning kept quiet about his previous relationship with the juror until his conviction to defraud the court. He has sandbagged this court, Kimmel said. He withheld this information to only use it if the verdict wasn't in his favor. But the dopey gunman left a breadcrumb trail for prosecutors to find. Dunning called his mom a month before his conviction and appeared to allude to the videos in a cryptic tone, warning her, "You're going to see something you might not want to see," prosecutors said. Inmates' phone calls from jails are sometimes monitored by authorities. Dunning's mom searched through her son's personal phone, and that's when she found the sex videos and showed them to his lawyer, the attorney said. Prosecutors, meanwhile, defended the juror, who testified she believes Dunning's name to be Ace since he used it on social media. This is not something he inadvertently held back. Kimmel told the judge of Dunning's videos, this is something he pocketed to use as a strategic, tactical advantage. Converse agreed, denying the defense motion to dismiss, despite acknowledging there was some degree of a sexual relationship between Dunning and the juror. That's what this was. Deception in the floor of the court. The judge said of Dunning's reactions. He could have easily taken care of this whole issue by just telling us what happened instead of keeping it a secret. Attempts to reach Lolita Dunning was unsuccessful. That's his mother. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office declined to comment. Dunning's lawyer said that they plan to appeal the conviction. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. This is the first case of this type that I have had, Loving said after the hearing. So he tried to defraud the court. She don't remember who she slept with until she physically walked by him. The mother is helping him in his shenanigans. This is a mess on so many levels. Wayne, your thoughts?
First of all, rest in peace to that lady who lost her life.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they got 911.
Yeah.
What did she think she was going to do walking into a volatile situation? I understand she's trying to be a good citizen, whatever, but that should have been a 911 call.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, I think dude did do that as a, says, hey, okay, maybe I can get a mistrial, as try to use some maneuver. But at the same time, I think she did. I can't do 15 coin videos and you only know Ace. And you don't recognize him. I don't believe it. I think what she did, I'm going to find this, guilty. Okay? Not that any other woman or any other whoever was on there, they probably came up with the same thing. So that's why I don't see no mistrial, only to go through this to get the same answer. Okay, so yeah, I think they knew each other, but I think they both had their reasons for not saying anything. One, he thought he was going to get a mistrial, get over. Her, find him guilty, payback. But I definitely don't see, not 15. And then, now that, if that's the case, she wasn't truthful either. She said she had a one-night stand. How did one night stand turn to 15 videos at different times, So he's where I think he was convicted fairly. He's where he's supposed to be. And I'm glad the judge didn't, call a mistrial and take the people through that again. So that's my thoughts. But that lady, she walked right into that. How do you walk? I'm not walking up on nobody. They're already whipping on somebody else's ASS. What you think they're going to do to yours?
The sad part about it too, though, Wayne, is that her husband was with her. They both wasn't thinking.
No, neither one. But he was in the house with the kids. What they said, he was in the house with the kids, or
I gotta get it clear. But I know her husband was there.
But she stepped out. Why he ain't step out? As a man, why he ain't step out?
Yeah.
What made her think she was going to do something? And the husband in the house. Come on, you know. I guess he had a little bit of sense. He said, "No, you going over there? Ain't none of my business."
Oh, good God. Sad. May she rest in peace. Julius, your thoughts?
To the victim, I hope she rests in peace.
Mm-hmm.
That this trial was over with. This man is a clown. You kept those corn videos as revenge. Revenge. That's just what it was. The jury of your peers found you guilty, and that's it. And I don't believe for one second that she didn't know who he was. I believe she did. She didn't want her own secrets to come out. I'm talking about the juror in question.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want her own secrets to come out. People love to hide behind that when they don't want their own secrets to come out. And she decided to get him back by staying on the jury. You're a clown just like he is. That's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Katrina, your thoughts?
Condolences to the woman, family, and her husband whatsoever. But I think he played this the way that he would think, like, okay, she's on the jury. Maybe she'll go in my favor. But since she didn't,
that's what I was thinking.
Let me play my card. He sat back and waited. He knew exactly what he was doing. That was his ace in the hole. But what I'm saying now, because they got all that evidence whatsoever, that means that the jury was tainted. So even though I don't know if they're gonna find him guilty when they do another trial, because basically he needs another retrial because she lied. There's no way you can sit in the courtroom and not see this man's face. And the folks didn't ask you, did you know this person? You know him by Ace. You had sex with a guy by the name of Ace and you don't know his government name? That's some bull crap. What I'm saying is now that's his reason why he's gonna have another trial. That's gonna be a mistrial. They're gonna have to redo this, even if he go through the appellate court. The appellate court gonna see that the jury was tainted because she knew. She knew. So he's probably looking at another trial. I don't know if he's gonna be found guilty on this one as well, but that's his basis to get another trial though. The judge said no, but they can always go above his head because she was a juror and the people asked her right up front, do you know this person? Have you had any dealings with this person? Do you know the circumstances going around? They ask you that every time you go on jury duty. So she lied, therefore he's gonna get another trial. Whether he's gonna be found guilty or not, but I guarantee you he get another trial. But that's all I got.
Well, unfortunately he's a derelict, but I do agree with you, Katrina. This was a mishap all the way around. And she said it was a one night stand, and you didn't recognize who he was until you passed by him. Girl, this is a mess. Savannah, your thoughts?
She should be locked up as well. Mm-hmm. This is another case here of the judicial system being a joke. And how, as a juror, there is some vetting that should be done, and is done before you're on a case. And then especially a case of this caliber here, where this is grand jury and you had to go through extra steps. miss me with you didn't know who this guy was. You knew exactly who he was 15 times. I don't care what time of the day, you knew his name. It was more than Ace. So I don't buy hers. That's why she should be locked up as well. I agree with you and Katrina. And he recognized her as well. And he kept his mouth shut because he knew that was also the card that he was going to play. He's like, nope, jury's tainted, mistrial, and thinking he was going to get off. So I believe he will get a second trial. It will probably more than likely be with the same outcome. But this and the mother here too. The mother should get some charges as well. I say throw them all, lock them all up. They're all trash. I don't understand. And I have to say, as the woman who unfortunately lost her life, I recall living next to a neighbor that was also in DV situations. I did, and she had children, and I think as a mother, I recall going next door and finding out if she was okay during a DV situation, because my thought was primarily the children. And I'm thinking that's possibly what this woman thought of when she went over there, is about protecting the kids. So it may have been a mistake, but I honestly thought about the kids. Yes, I called 911 and things turned out different than this situation, but immediately my mind went to protecting the children. So it's unfortunate and awful that she lost her life, and now her children are left without a mother, as well as the other children. But this monster is where he belongs, but he's going to get a mistrial because of another person taking the justice system as a joke. So she needs to do some time as well.
Oh, she does. Oh my goodness, it's sad.
Hey, that makes question. Why should the mother get any charges? He told her where the thing was, and she turned over to the lawyer. What did she do wrong?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he told her, and she turned it right over to the lawyer. I mean, she didn't try to hide it. She didn't know anything about it. So why should she,
that's true. She didn't know anything about it until he told her. The whole thing is just a sad, disgusting, nasty mess. It really, really is. So let's go ahead. Let's roll into this last story. And the last story is this Dacara Thompson, which is very sad, very tragic. Let's get into it. I'm not going to play this whole thing. Everybody mute while I just give this little update here, please. So, Dacara Thompson investigation. Hugo Hernandez Mendez arrested, charged with the teens unaliving. This is long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. We're going to just listen to some of it. Then I'll read out the article and we'll talk.
Here. My name is Brian Fisher, and I'm the manager of the Media Relations Division for the Prince George's County Police Department, and we really appreciate you joining us this morning. Speaking with you this morning will be Prince George's County Police Chief George Nader, the County Executive for Prince George's County Aisha Braveboy, the Superintendent of the Maryland State Police, Colonel Roland L. Butler Jr., the Chief of the Bowie Police Department, Dwayne A. Preston, and the State's Attorney for Prince George's County, Tara Jackson. I would also like to recognize Prince George's County DCAO, Mel Powell. Because this investigation remains very active, we'll take a few questions at the end of the presentation, but we'll be very limited in what we can answer. At this time, I'd like to introduce Prince George's County Police Chief, George Nader.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank members of the media for showing sensitivity during the reporting of this case. We know there were questions that you had and questions that we couldn't answer due to the investigation being ongoing. On September 5th, detectives from the Prince George's County Police Department's Homicide Division developed probable cause to present charges for the murder of Dacara Thompson. This morning, criminal charges were issued for first-degree and second-degree murder. The facts of the case: 19-year-old Dacara Thompson was last seen on August the 22nd. She was reported missing the very next day. On August the 21st, her family located the vehicle in the area of Jasmine Terrace in Hyattsville, Maryland. On August 31st, what we believe to have been Dakara's body was located by the Maryland State Police Department in the area of eastbound Route 50 at Route 97. On August 23rd, in the area of University Boulevard in Hyattsville, Maryland, a short distance from her vehicle. At approximately 3 a.m., for reasons still under investigation, it appears that Dacara willfully entered a vehicle being driven by Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez, 35-year-old male out of Bowie, Maryland. Through investigative techniques and video review, detectives were able to track the vehicle's movement to an address on Kimber Ridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland. On September 4th, several search warrants were obtained and executed pertaining to this case, which led detectives to obtain enough probable cause to take Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez into custody and present him to the court commissioner for the murder of Dacara Thompson. We believe the murder occurred in the home on Cambridge Drive in Hernandez's bedroom. Her body was taken to the location that it was recovered at by Hernandez. At this time, there are no additional suspects. However, this investigation is ongoing. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family during this time. Detectives from the Prince George's County Police Department's Missing Persons Unit were quickly joined by the Prince George's County Police Department Homicide Unit, along with our law enforcement partners from Maryland State Police and the City of Bowie, who worked jointly and tirelessly to determine the facts of this case. Because the pre-existing relationships between our agencies, we are where we are. There's still a lot of investigative work to be done in this case, and we're asking members of the community or anyone that may have information about this case to contact us at 1-866-411-TIPS. Throughout this case, members at the highest level of our law enforcement agencies were kept abreast of every development, and cooperative decisions were made jointly. I have no words to express my appreciation for the Superintendent of the Maryland State Police, Colonel Butler, and Bowie's City Police Chief, Dwayne Preston, for their involvement. In addition to law enforcement involvement in this case, the highest level of our governments were kept abreast of this matter. This included daily briefings with Deputy Chief Administrative Officer Melvin Powell and County Executive Aisha Braveboy, both of whom provided unwavering support for our teams who were conducting this investigation. Incidents like this affect our entire community. Ms. Braveboy's involvement in this case, for me, further reflects her passion for people and the community that we serve. On behalf of our department, I want to personally thank you for your support in this tough case. It meant a lot to me personally, and I appreciate it. At this point, I'll turn it over to County Executive Aisha Braveboy.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chief, and thank you to all of our public safety partners who are here with us today. But more importantly, I want to thank this community. When you found out that Dacara Thompson was missing, you answered the calls of her parents and her family to help find her, to locate her, because she means so much to so many. And so it is tough that we're at this point where the search is over and justice begins. I want to thank our superintendent. I want to thank also Chief Preston, the men and women of the Prince George's County Police Department and its homicide unit, as I have repeated numerous times as state's attorney, the best of the best. I want to thank you for closing this case quickly. And now we will hand this case over to our state's attorney, Tara Jackson, to seek justice. But I did want to reflect on Dacara Thompson, young 19-year-old graduate of St. Charles High School in Charles County. She was living with her father. And part of the reason she lived here is because she was working for nonprofit Prince George's as part of her service year option that she decided to participate in. And that this activity is sponsored by our Governor Wes Moore. So this is a young woman who dedicated part of her young life to serving others, And I want that to ring home to all of you that this is a good young woman who wanted to do good for her community. And now her community will stand behind her family as we seek justice for her. I will now turn the mic over to our Superintendent Butler.
Good morning. On behalf of Governor Wes Moore and the entire Maryland Department of State Police family, I'd like to extend my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Ms. Dacara Thompson, a young life that was taken far too soon. Shortly before 5 p.m. on August 31st, troopers from the Maryland State Police Annapolis Barrack were dispatched to the area of U.S. Route 50 between Maryland Route 424 and Interstate 97 in Anne Arundel County for the report of a disabled vehicle. Upon arrival, troopers observed a female lying unresponsive in a grassy area off the highway. Information obtained indicated that the disabled vehicle was unrelated to the investigation that we have embarked upon. Investigators from the Maryland State Police Criminal Enforcement Division South Region responded to the scene, along with State Police crime scene technicians from our Forensic Services Division. They processed the scene. Shortly after, they contacted the Prince George's County Police. The Maryland State Police and the Prince George's County Police have been conducting a joint investigation into the death of Ms. Dacara Jackson. As additional information becomes available, I am sure the Prince George's County and the Maryland State Police will share that information with you. The circumstances surrounding her death still remain under investigation, so we will continue to answer those questions that we think the community and the family want those answers. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Chief Dwayne Preston from the City of Bowie.
Good morning. On behalf of our City Manager, Alfred D. Lott, I want to express my condolences. In great collaboration with Prince George's County Police Department and the Maryland State Police. And unfortunately, the evidence led to this incident culminating in the City of Bowie. We continue to work in partnership with our strong partnerships with our law enforcement agencies, and it's our prayer that as this case matriculates through the criminal justice system, that justice will be served for the family. Thank you.
Good morning. I too would like to first express my condolences to the family of Dacara Thompson. I cannot imagine the pain that the family is feeling right now. And I agree with the county executive when she says that the community is grieving with the family. I also want to thank the county executive and her leadership team, Chief Nader, Chief Preston, our Maryland State Police partners. We are indeed a team in bringing justice and protecting our community. I know that the public has been following this case closely, and oftentimes our community does not understand the legal process and roles of each member of our legal team, of our law enforcement team. So as state's attorney for Prince George's, I'm here this morning to explain the legal process and next steps. The police have charged Mr. Hernandez-Mendez, as you've heard, with murder and related charges. He has appeared before a commissioner, a judicial officer, and that commissioner has determined that there is probable cause to support the charges, and he was held without bond. Mr. Hernandez-Mendez will now appear at a bond hearing. We're not sure whether that bond hearing will be today or on Monday. And during that hearing, the court will determine whether or not he should remain held. And in making that decision, the court will look at the nature of the charges that are lodged against him, as well as the safety of the community. As I said, this bond hearing may occur on Monday and not today. At this point, there really is not much more that I can offer other than to say in the weeks to come, my office will do a thorough review of the evidence, and we will determine whether or not Mr. Hernandez-Mendez should be indicted, and if so, what he should be indicted for. It is important to remind our residents, and I want to do this always, that any person who is charged with a crime in Prince George's is entitled to due process through our judicial system, and it's my job as the state's attorney to ensure that the justice occurs, but that the processes are transparent and fair and in full accordance with the law. And finally, I just want to add that my office remains steadfast in working with our partners daily to make sure that our community is safe. Thank you.
So the deepest gratitude for the men and women of the Prince George's County Police Department that worked this case literally around the clock since she was reported missing. I deeply appreciate their efforts, and I appreciate the journalism that has covered this case to this point. Now we'll open it up for a few questions. Yeah. We don't believe she was moving around the home. We believe everything transpired in the bedroom. So what is surrounding the two coming together, that's what we're still investigating. Nothing, not that we're aware of, but we are aware of one prior arrest that occurred with United States Park Police in April.
If it wasn't for that disabled car, would that area have been searched? Was that on the radar?
That area is probably about 7 miles away from the murder location, but a good distance away from where she went missing. So we are thankful that the Maryland State Police had the ability to locate that body based on that call for service.
Chief, was this suspect subject to an ICE detainer from that spring arrest?
He was not at that. He was not subject to an ICE detainer based on that spring arrest.
Any other?
We believe that one was issued yesterday.
County executive, whoever wants to handle this, that's going to be an aspect of this case given our time today.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about that?
So as was indicated, he was arrested by U.S. Park Police, which falls under the auspices of the federal government. So the federal government arrested him in April of this year on a DUI charge. He was then released pending his trial. I don't believe his trial date has come up yet. So what we know is that he did not, according to our records, have any contact at the state level, but he was arrested by federal authorities in April.
I imagine that there's going to be some reaction to this and arrest in the news nationally. What are your thoughts about that? Is his status relevant at all in this case? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that the U.S. Government has made status of individuals relevant. This was someone who was in their custody, and they made the decision to release him. So I think the questions should be asked of the Justice Department. Thank you.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
So when the car was reported missing, I know that I talked to Brian about this. There wasn't like a flyer or anything put out on social media to get her things out, right? Can you talk just about that, like the fact that that wasn't put out right away and the case ended this way? Like what was done in the first few hours or days of the investigation?
So the facts as we have it is she was in that vehicle before she was ever reported missing. So we did canvass the area. We searched, we questioned people in the area. We looked for video. We did all of these things as a practice. Critical missings get distributed. But the family did a lot of hard work and they distributed information and you all covered that. So the information was out and the community had it. And the community was sending in tips as well. Sorry. Correct. So we met with the family, and through that meeting, we were able to identify the body.
Mm.
We'll take one more question.
We'll do two.
I was going to ask, are any investigators talking with the suspect cooperating?
We did interview the suspect, and we got limited cooperation.
I just asked, I'll ask this respectfully, any trauma to
We're not going to discuss the manner of death at this time.
Mm.
Thank you for your question, and thank you all. We really appreciate you coming up.
This case is so incredibly sad. It's just unbelievable. I'm just going to read a little bit of this because that video told everything. The brief, a Bowie man has been charged with the unaliving of 19-year-old Dacara Thompson. Surveillance linked the suspect to a home where police say Thompson was killed. Her body was found off Route 50. Investigators expect the death to be ruled a homicide. Police say 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez of Bowie was arrested and is facing first and second degree M charges after detectives linked him to the unaliving of 19-year-old Dacara Thompson, whose August disappearance prompted investigations by agencies across Maryland. Dacara Thompson's unaliving arrest. Thompson was reported missing on August 23rd, one day after she was last seen at a gas station in Langham. Her 2013 Ford Edge was later found abandoned in Hyattsville. On August 31, Maryland State Police launched a death investigation after a woman's body was discovered in a grassy area off Route 50 in Anne Arundel County. Authorities have since confirmed the body was Thompson's. During a news conference on Fridays, officials said that the surveillance footage obtained by detectives showed Thompson approaching a black SUV in the early morning hours of August 23rd. Authorities say that after speaking with the driver, she entered the vehicle, which was later traced to a home on Cambridge Drive in Bowie. Police searched the residence on September 4th, and they said they found evidence indicating Thompson was unalived in a bedroom inside the home. Hernandez Mendez, who lives at the address and had access to the SUV, was taken into custody shortly after. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has not yet determined Thompson's exact cause of death, but investigators expect it is to be ruled a homicide. Detectives are still working to determine whether Thompson and the suspect knew each other prior to her disappearance. Hernandez Mendez is being held without bond by the Department of Corrections. Maryland Governor Westmore expressed deep sorrow over the death of Thompson, calling it an act of senseless violence, and praised her commitment to public service through the Maryland Service Year option. She was a bright light in our state. We will use every tool to our disposal to ensure those responsible for this crime are held accountable and honor Dacara's legacy of service through our unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of all Marylanders, Moore said. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Prince George County's Police Homicide Unit, and they give the number. This is so sad. I'll leave that there and I'll go around. Julius, your thoughts?
My condolences go out to the young lady's family. But the time, I believe, if I'm right, was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Timeline, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I always bring the comment, what are you doing out at that time? There's nothing good at that time. Of course, the article shows. I hope this man gets put under the jail. I just hope he gets put under the jail. That's it. That's all.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
So this has been an extremely sad case to follow here in the DMV area. I recall when it first was announced in August, that the young lady was missing, and her family and friends and church family immediately took to the streets and started searching for her, combing through grassy fields, ditches, abandoned buildings. And it reminded me of the community outpouring and outreach that the young man had in Florida that was picked up by his cousins. This was just the same, if not even larger, of a presence. Although the law enforcement was involved, but the parents spearheaded the search for their child. They didn't leave it up to law enforcement. So that was very noticeable and commendable. And they made sure that her name stayed out there and that the media didn't forget that she was missing. I'm very glad and appreciate that official that came to the podium and said that this suspect, this perpetrator, was arrested in April for a DUI by the federal government, not local law enforcement, but federal. He embodied and checked every checkbox of the of exactly what these ICE agents and this federal cleansing of illegal immigrants. This man checked every box, but somehow he was released back into society. So this blood stain is on the hands of the federal government, not the local government, because they did not share that information with local. I believe the family also knows more than what they're saying. There was an interview with the family recently, with the family of the perpetrator, the suspect, on Spanish TV, where now the family members he was staying with are also here illegally, and they were picked up as well. The men were picked up and they are being detained for whatever reason. It is unfortunate. This case immediately reminded me of the story we did here, Diva, of Sade Robinson, the young lady in Milwaukee that went with who met up with a man in a bar, decided to go home with him to his house, and where he dismembered her and disposed of her body throughout the city. I don't know where are you, and they're right, they haven't released what's the connection. How did this young lady end up in his vehicle? Because the video surveillance clearly shows her exiting her vehicle and walking to this black SUV, like if she had ordered a Uber. Like they just blindly get in these vehicles without asking. And it's unfortunate that this is her demise. I don't know what it is that we need to instill in our young ladies of stranger danger, of the wolf, of the boogeyman. This generation is so nonchalant and blindly trusting, especially at that time of night, that they're trusting whoever they get in these cars with. And that they're going to take them to their, I'm going to speak for me and I'm going to include you in it. I think we're the generation that we were taught we don't get in cars with strangers. And this generation orders strangers on their phone and blindly get into the backseat of whoever without knowing if they have a criminal history, have they been, do they have a DUI, clean driving record? They don't know. So it is unfortunate. I know the family is turning this, their pain into a purpose. And I know there will be another big announcement sometime this week, I believe around Tuesday, an update on the manner of her passing. So it's unfortunate. And I hope that our young ladies start learning a lesson about getting in vehicles with strangers.
Yeah. I'm going to wait. That's why I kind of didn't want to touch this story in some ways. I'm going to wait a little bit. I have a theory, and the theory ain't good. That's all I'll say. Katrina, did you speak on this?
No, Diva. But I think I'm on the same. Listen, you the conductor, and I think I'm behind you. Because I'm praying that it wasn't. I hope she met this man online and was doing stuff that she wasn't supposed to be doing. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I'm feeling that is the case, and I'm allegedly. That's how I feel. Because you walk into this car at 2:00 in the morning, and this man is what, 39, 19. I mean, where's your conversation piece at? I mean, he's too old for you anyway. But what I'm saying is, you get in this car because you have a car of your own. So you wasn't calling him for no Uber because you have a car, and they say you left your car. You got in the car with him. I just hope that she didn't do no online dating or meet up or max up. And I don't want to put anything in her now. I'm not trying to put anything on her. And I'm not saying that this would happen. This is my thought of it. And if I'm wrong, please forgive me, family, if y'all come across this. But I'm just saying, you leaving at 2:00 in the morning to get in the car with a man. Only two things out there at that certain time of the morning: trouble and death. Trouble and unaliving. Rest in peace to her body. Condolences to the family. But I hope she wasn't meeting this man up on an online dating or hookup or something like that. But that's all I got.
Yeah, she lied to her father because she said she was just going to get gas, I believe. This is just very sad. Very, very sad. And I don't even know what to say. And I think the whole state is just heartbroken over this situation. And I don't know. Listen, it's evil people in this world that it's one thing to do something to somebody, but then you got to take their life. And then you just leave them on the side of a road. Like, it's just crazy. Just like with even baby Emmanuel. I don't think they're ever going to find baby Emmanuel. Because honestly, I feel like the parents put him out with the trash. So this is a very sad story. But all I could say to this is that the young people, even going to get gas at that hour is not usual. It's not. And there's some times where I have gone to get gas late only because I was like, okay, when I get up in the morning, I don't want to have to, I had somewhere to go. I don't want to, have to rush and get gas too. But you are correct. And I have stopped my kid a lot of times when it was late, like saying, like, dude, where do you think you're going with? Like, there's nothing but trouble in the streets at a certain time. It's not, it's just trouble. It's just darkness. Okay. Literal darkness and for real darkness. It's darkness in the streets that late at night. Who's really out there? And if you are out there, what are you doing? So I feel it's just horrific and it's sad. And I don't want to go into my thought process on this because it's such a sad story and she's so young. She was so young, but I'm gonna wait to see as more details come out. And I'm sure, and I think they're holding back a little bit too, because I'm sure they already ran her phone and her social media. It's just, and it's a sensitive situation because they was looking for her, and then it was this sad outcome. And as somebody stated, when they found her body, I believe her body, there was no clothes on her body. Just evil, just pure evilness. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. Thank you for spending time with me late on this Sunday night. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, do the diva a favor, hit the like button on the way out. I truly appreciate y'all. Sometimes we have to have these heavy conversations, and I told you that's why I kind of leaned away from this one, because it's heavy. And every time I think about these teenagers or just kids in this younger age bracket, I think about my own son. I think about my nieces. I think about my nephews. I just, it's just so sad that the world is so dark and it's just so many people that they're out there. They got a lot of mental issues going on and they don't care what they do to your family member. So love your family members. Tell your kids you love them. And even if they get mad at you, be like, no, you can't go. You're not going. I don't care what you say. Or I'll go get the gas with you. Thanks for being here, guys. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo choo.